I can't like go like this, George, because like you want me to do this?
Just sit crisscross legs.
We are a little bit close like that. Let's
Fucking,
go one.
like-
Let's go one in, one out.
What are we conjoined twins?
What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 24 of the Coffee Club Pod. We are here live, but not in person together, unfortunately. It is pretty impressive, I think, that we had a 23 episode streak of all being in the same room. It was
That's false. Episode 1. Remember?
Well, that's why I said 20. Is that 22 then?
Yeah,
I was
22.
trying to not include episode 1 in that streak.
But you see, yeah, I missed the first episode.
Yeah.
We've been going strong since the first episode. Or I guess
Yeah.
since the second.
First episode was a shit
when are we
show with
releasing,
technical difficulties, but I think there might be some technical difficulties here. We'll see what happens. Hopefully we can have this smooth. One benefit of doing this via the web and using the platform that we're using is that I can put sound effects in. So, for example,
That
can
was
you guys
sick.
hear that?
Yeah.
When are we releasing episode 00?
What do we talk about in episode 0?
That's like one of the hidden archives that we should release. Limited time.
Did we have that recorded somewhere?
I think you still have it, right?
Because do you remember it was like a meme for like our first like 5 episodes that we would always reference stuff that we talked about in episode 0, but I can't even remember what we actually talked about now.
I wonder how bad it was.
Oh, you got a good memory, man. You got a great memory to think of that. Yeah.
I think it was us explaining why the world needed a new podcast.
Bro, the more I look around, the more I realize that every single person just like has like a podcast, and every person has like a clothing line. Like all the things that like we aspire to do is just I don't know. We're just another couple of random NPCs out there, you know? We're not main characters.
Saturated market. But that's why you know it works though, if you do it good.
Yeah, when you put it like that does make sense. But yeah, so I'm out here in Phoenix, Arizona, which I have to say, boys, weather is amazing. It's so nice here.
Isn't like 88 today?
Yeah, it's like 32 degrees Celsius here. It's hot. It's just beautiful. I forgot how nice it was here, like the town and stuff. I'm staying in Tempe. It's just beautiful. But the reason I'm here is to see John Ball, who is, I guess, technically another chiropractor, but for those who don't know, I don't even know how to describe him. He's like a wizard, pretty much. He's the go-to guy who, if you're a professional runner or even like a college runner, like at NAU, they're pretty much professional runners, and you get injured and you want to get healthy quick, you go see John Ball here in Phoenix. So a lot of people do what I'm doing, where you like fly in and see him for a week, and he just treats like the fuck out of you. It's
just
pretty
like the track guru of like the US, maybe the world, who knows. I mean, the fact that there are people that own houses in Phoenix just because of John Ball, like moved across the country for that, is pretty wild.
It is ridiculous. I mean, and you guys have both seen him, haven't you? I know obviously, George, you've seen him a few times. Ollie, you've seen him as well, right?
Yeah, I saw him once or twice, and I was skeptical because I was an advocate for no treatment because I never really got it. And then I saw.
Is this when you hurt your ass?
This is when I fell on my ass. This is, I think, a week. This was a week or 2 weeks before I ran 332. I was kicking the ball around and I fell on my ass on the concrete with Carlos. Shout out Jose. And then John Ball treated me for 2 days, and then I was better. So, yeah, I definitely believe the hype after that. I mean, there's 2 people that I hype up a lot, and that's Jason, our boy Jason, who's in Michigan, and then John Ball in Arizona. So
yeah, funny enough, they went to the same school at the same time, the same chiro school.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, I guess everyone goes there. But yeah, what are your experiences with him, George?
I saw him for the first time like the end of my freshman year, I think, literally on the way home to like New Zealand. I like went on the way to the airport, which I've done a few times actually, because it kind of like is convenient to go through Phoenix. And yeah, it's pretty crazy. It's not like getting treatment with anyone else in the world. You just like, it's like on and off the table. He watches you run on the treadmill for like a couple of minutes, and like the stuff he can see in like the shortest amount of time on a treadmill is wild. And then I didn't see him for like a few years. I don't know why. We weren't getting it covered by NAU was part of the reason. I think after I left, they started paying for it.
Yeah.
He's like, once NAU wasn't blue collar anymore.
Yeah, you guys are definitely white collar now after that.
Have we talked about the new facility on the podcast? I think we might have touched on it, but
I think we talked about the treadmills.
Yeah, it's ridiculous that I think
now.
A lot of pro athletes and pro groups can't get their hands on a woodway, whereas NAU has like 10.
They just got 10, and they got a reverse altitude room.
Yeah, that's like a scratch off like what the bill was, right? What was the bill? 36 million?
No, it was like 50 mil, I think.
50 million. NAU, and you know, small school apparently, but $50 million big facilities. Dreams. Small dick, big dreams. Shout out. That's my mantra. Anyway,
yeah,
small dick, big dreams. But yeah, no, NAU definitely got that blank check for Mike Smith, and Mike Smith's like, hey, can I have 10 woodways? And he got them.
Dude,
so
that's what I would spend that on, 100%. But yeah, John Ball, my experience this time has been pretty wild because I am like literally in Phoenix Sunday to Friday. So I think it's kind of a case of there's such a distinct timeline on like how long I'm going to be here and how long I'll be available for treatment. And he has just been literally like going at it. Like yesterday I got to see him. I think I went in there at 10 in the morning, and then I got back at like 3:30 in the afternoon. And it was just ridiculous, the amount of treatment that I got. And the stuff which I need to, so he has like this crazy understanding of the human body, and it's really good. It's kind of hard for you to understand, I think, sometimes as the athlete, because it is pretty complicated, some of the stuff going on. But like my understanding at the moment of like what he's working on is that my adductors are way too short, which apparently happens to a lot of runners. And so he has to lengthen my adductors. And obviously the method of lengthening adductors is just like physically going in there and absolutely destroying your high adductors right where they attach. And so it is extremely painful. It's quite the experience, but it is wild. As George mentioned, he will watch you run on the treadmill. Or for me, he has me doing a lot of strides, and they'll like film me doing strides, and then I'll get work, and then I'll go do another stride. And the amount of improvement that you actually get to see between those strides after getting the work is pretty crazy. So yeah, I'm here getting that done. We'll be back in Boulder in a few days, but by the time I get back, you guys will be gone because you guys got your own freaking trips to go on. So what's going on in your guys' life?
We are going to Orange County. Yeah, we're crashing the 10K party that everyone's having in Southern California, and putting on our own race. I guess no, we're not really putting it on.
Well, yeah, it's more of a. I mean, obviously Bauman are going to be headlining that 10K. But there's a 1500 on, and it's going to be nice. I think there's a lot of guys in there that are looking to run 335, or under 335. Sorry. For the World Champ qualifier. So we just the list just got released. So there's 2 Bauman guys in it, Josh Thompson and Amos Biddlesmeyer, and then Louis G. Is there?
Dude, Louis G has he been in like every race with you, George? I swear, wherever you race, Louis G is there.
Follows me around. Yeah,
it's a long hair club. You guys have your little social long hair club.
It'll be a good rematch from Milrose, hopefully.
Yeah. No, it should be a good race. I think George and I, it's going to be a nice little hit out for us because we'll head to Munich on the 10th of March to kind of get in some training over in Europe before we head into Belgrade for World Indoors. So it's a nice little race before then. And yeah, it should be fun, shouldn't it, George?
Yeah, another good matchup for the Coffee Club. Had one back in December in the 5K.
Yeah.
Went towards Ollie, as it normally does.
As it normally does.
What's like the plan for the 1500 then? I don't know if it's like top secret information or whatever. It's interesting because I haven't been around you guys, so I don't actually know what the discourse is, what's going on. But is there like a specific plan? Is it like go after that world champs time for you, George, or is it just Ollie do he's classic Ollie shit and just like go run like 155 and then run another 155 or whatever type shit.
So the classic top secret confidential stance isn't here. Honestly, I think we're getting team pace to 155, and then the plan is in the last bit of the race. I'm hopefully we'll kind of squeeze it down a little bit and hopefully push the pace so we can get as many guys under 335 as we can.
I think practicing closing off a medium fast pace as opposed to hanging on off a ridiculous pace, which is what you did a little bit last year.
Yeah, I think it's good for championship. Leading into championship racing is just being able to close off a hard pace, and
which is what championship races are. I feel like these days, like they close hard, but they're also fast. So it's like it's closing off kind of an already uncomfortable pace.
100%. I mean, Josh Kerr just showed that what you can do with that going into. I don't know if we're going to talk about this that early, but he ran. What did he run? 332 and 348 in BU, but he went through 800 in what was it?
Well, I think it was 156 for 809.
His third 400 was his fastest.
And then he went 55.
He went 55, and then I think he
55 again. No,
he ran through 57, 56, 57 maybe.
I don't know how how does the math work out?
I'm not sure. All I know is it's bloody impressive. I think we definitely called that the way he was going to break both was to push that 1500 like pretty hard and then try and just walk in the last 100, and he did say that in his interview afterwards. But man, he ran 332 high for the 1500 and then 348.87, which is third all time. So pretty freaking sweet. Where else to do it other than lovely Boston? Or one of those tracks where you just seem to think, wow, there must be a cheat code here or something. But it was very impressive, and I think a lot of guys ran pretty quick in that race. There was 54s. Reed Brown was 54.
So many people.
Yeah, so it was pretty cool to see. And then there was that comment that George has mentioned with why was it Carl Merber? The comment with Carl Merber about Josh not running nationals but doing that.
Oh, yeah. Go on.
Pretty much.
He's your rival, Ollie. You're the one that's going to bring this shit up.
My rival. I mean, I ran 332 low this time last year.
What do you think of Josh not running British champs?
Personally, he can do what he wants. He's an Olympic bronze medalist. But I feel like I get a lot of respect to people actually go to their national champs and compete and race if they can. But, I mean, it wasn't obviously on his timetable. His timetable was to break that record, and that's what he did. So, but I don't know. We don't have an indoor. New Zealand and Australia doesn't have an indoor track. People probably are shocked about that, but we don't have an indoor facility, so we don't have an indoor championships anyway for track and field. So for us, we don't have to go back for our championships. So I don't know. I think it's pretty cool to do that, but I also would have loved him to go to Worlds, because when a guy's running that well, you would want to race against the best. That's what World Championships is about. So my 2 cents is good job, but I'm sure in the future we'll see a lot of people running under 350, particularly at Boston.
Yeah, man. It's been the trend for a long time now, but you just got to go to BU and run quick. It's just hacks. I 100% believe that in the near future, we're going to be racing outdoor races. During outdoor season, you're going to be racing at BU indoor track. I don't know if it gets really hot in there or something, but if it can be decent conditions in there, I don't know why you would, and you're purely just going for time and that's all you care about. I don't know why you wouldn't do that, especially if you're a Bauman or something where you can have a very controlled race environment, and that's what is good for you guys to run quick. I mean, they're going and doing it outdoors this upcoming weekend in the 10K. I guess a 10K indoors sounds pretty ridiculous.
Sounds pretty terrible.
How many laps is that?
It's 50.
Yeah.
How slow would they have to run for you to think that they should have gone to Boston?
See, I guess it's if they didn't break 27, which I do think they will break 27. I just have to imagine that BU is potentially 10, 15 seconds over 10K. I'm kind of just making those numbers up, to be honest. And maybe, running that far on an indoor track ends up actually being kind of difficult because it is just 50 laps, which just sounds so tough to do, like mentally. But just with how good that track is, it has to have a benefit which compounds, over like the distances that you're racing. Like a 10K has got to feel pretty good on that track. I mean, I could be wrong because maybe that track is actually optimized for certain speeds and the 10K is too slow for it, I guess.
I think you're right, though. I think when we told that, like, the longer you run on a track like that, the more benefit you get out of it.
Well, that's what I would say. There's definitely like a point. There's a race where you stop getting the benefits of the track. I'd say like the 800 is never going to be as fast indoors.
No,
I'm convinced.
Yeah. I'm convinced as well.
And I honestly,
and 400 too.
Oh yeah, and everything below it. But I don't think anyone's ever going to run 325 indoors.
Really?
No. I think that the sweet spot's the 3K, 5K personally. But I mean, people have talked about certain indoor tracks just feeling slow and being shit. I mean, look at the University of Michigan's track. I mean, Morgan and I both run on that, and we both know that track sucks. That's the indoor bank 200.
Yeah, I know that is a funny one because that was a new facility.
Shout out, Michigan, go blue.
But I think some people probably love that track though. But
I mean, we ran on it, and I even noticed it in the mile. It was really hard to run on because it's so soft to the point where you was like sinking in. And Morgan had to qualify for NCAA's in the Big Tens, and you ran that 5K, and you ran 13:30 something.
Yeah,
and it looked so painful because the track is just like not fast at all, in my opinion. I people could say differently, but I think from what I experienced, it was pretty shit.
Yeah, no, it just like it didn't feel quick to run on compared to say like the Armory. I haven't run on Boston, so I can't say how Boston is, but I would imagine that feels a lot better. But I've run on the Armory, and that track feels pretty nice. So comparing that to Michigan, the Michigan track did not feel very good. But alas, going back to the 10K, do we have time predictions then? Because I just kind of said I think they will probably run sub 27. I mean, have they said what they're going for? Are they going for like US records or what's happening here?
Definitely a 26 at the front.
Yeah.
I don't know after that.
I would say if Grant's running 12:53 indoors, there's no way he's not eyeing to run under 20. Under 27. American record is 26:44. That's no fucking joke.
Based on the way they ran it last year, they negative split by like 25 seconds or something last year. I would imagine they're going to do something similar.
There's definitely variables in there. Okay, so if the weather's good, pacing's spot on, everyone's feeling good, Grant's going to rip, then I could see it being very quick. Quick.
Is that Karen kid PR'd in the 5K twice?
Yeah. That was last year. That was whack. That was whack, bro. But yeah, that could honestly happen. I could see something crazy happen, but I could also see them just going under 27. You know what I mean? Like, I think people, obviously everyone's running so freaking fast right now, which is pretty sick, but I think people will underestimate how hard it is to break 27. Not saying the Bauman guys will, but I'm thinking maybe one or two guys might get under 27. I'm not thinking that like you'd have 5. You know what I mean? I think maybe just 1 or 2. But that's my prediction.
I think at some point Mo and Grant are going to leave the rest of them.
Yeah, I think Mo and Grant are going to be the ones to do it. I mean, who else is in it for Bauman? Woody.
Like all of them.
Yeah.
Oh, fuck. Forgot about Woody.
I mean, Woody run at Boston?
I just forgot because he wasn't in that race.
Oh, he was 13:05 in the second race.
Freaking easy.
Yeah, so he could potentially be
those 3.
Good too. Sean McGorty is debuting in his 10.
So is Evan.
Evan Yeager.
All the steeplechasers are running 10K.
Dude, did you realize that Evan Yeager is very similar to Aaron Yeager?
Good Attack on Titan reference.
Did you guys notice that?
I didn't know. I didn't know where that was going.
Do you reckon they have any Yeagers out there?
Their names are definitely similar in the way they look.
And he has a ponytail as well, just food for
thought.
thought.
That's kind of a spoiler for season 4, but yeah.
Too late now, bro.
Yeah.
Too late now. It's already out.
I think the difference with the Bauman race is that I think it was the 5K that they did, they often will either have like their absolute heavy hitters or they'll have their second, I don't want to call them second tier because they're still absolutely amazing, but whatever you would call those 2 races that happened at Boston. And I think last year the 10K wasn't their necessarily heavy hitters. I think it pretty much depends if Mohamed is in the race and he's finishing or not. Like him and Grant are now obviously they're heavy hitters. And so if they're putting their heavy hitters in a race, I would say that you expect them to absolutely like go for it. If it wasn't the heavy hitters, I think, you would kind of see them go out more conservatively and then just let it happen. But if Grant and Mo are both in the race, I have to imagine that they are not messing around at all and that they're going for it. I'd be very interested to see what the pace is to go through 5K. I wouldn't be surprised if it's like 13:30, like literally 27-minute pace. I could 100% see that considering how quick they've run a couple of weeks ago. So if
What
they
if they
end
do
up
the
running,
opposite? What if they go through in 12:53? It's like Grant's like, I can do it once, I'll do it again.
If you went through in 12:53, then you would have a lot of leeway. This is true. Then you could just jog in that second half.
Money in the bank.
Money in the bank.
Money in the bank, baby. Regress.
Okay, this is my prediction. If they go and it's bad weather, then they'll never race outdoors again. They'll only race indoors from this point on.
I only do Boston. And
that's a solid prediction.
And we will too, because we'll probably be the same. Yeah, is there any other big hitters, as Morgan would call them, big hitters, other than Bauman?
I think the official page called them the heavy hitters, so maybe we should refer to them.
The heavy hitters. They hit heavy. They don't hit big. They hit heavy. Is there anybody other than Bauman that's big there? Like any big names?
Our favorite, Mr. Sam Atkin.
Oh, touches like this and you do it like that.
He's coming off a 13:03. Is Emmanuel? I don't know if Emmanuel would be racing. Probably not, considering that he just did US indoors and he's doing world indoors, and he just ran 13 flat.
Any news on Hulk Cocker and Cooper Teardrop jumping in? Dude, those guys aren't going to Worlds, man. That'd be a good training session for him.
I heard Cole is not racing again. He's not racing again until World Outdoors. That's what I heard.
So he's already qualified for the US team.
Yeah,
he's already qualified. Cooper Teardrop's they're probably filming something with New Gen to set up for the next 10K maybe.
Yeah, what do you guys think about seeing Cole not racing US indoors? Because him and Josh Kerr are the same in terms of the fact that these guys are potential gold or silver medalists. Yeah. They're definitely potential medalists at World Indoors, and that's people, I guess, don't care about that sometimes. But if you get one of those medals, I mean, that's nothing to laugh about.
The one thing that would annoy me a lot though is if I was fortunate enough to win a medal and someone would be like, "Oh, but Cole Hocker wasn't there. Oh, but Josh Kerr wasn't there."
That is annoying.
That's annoying. I want them to be there
because you already beat Josh this season.
Yeah, but I haven't beat Cole.
Yeah, but I did, and you'll beat me. So
that's not. Yeah, it's not like. Do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like as a competitor, I want to compete against the best, and if the best aren't turning up, then it doesn't feel like.
No doubt.
You know what I mean? Like, so I have that feeling, but then also like, Cole's earned the right to, if he feels like that he can't compete at Worlds to his best potential, and he wants to save it for Eugene, he has every right to do that. It's no one's business, you know. But it's the same with Josh. But it's interesting because I feel like as a professional athlete, particularly in running, you don't have many years to be able to compete at World Championships and compete at such a high level. And I feel like Cole and Josh are at that level of like medalists. Like, you're not going to be at that level forever. So letting those opportunities go can potentially be bad, because you could. What happens next year if they just, not saying that it would happen, but injury or underperform, like. And then they had an opportunity to win a medal at World Indoors. I don't know. That's my 2 cents.
What happens at the next one if you decide you really don't want to run, but you've got this clip backed up?
Well, hopefully, if I don't want to run, then I have a very good reason. But I think the one thing that I actually really like about our situation and about RIS is like we take every opportunity we get. I think like whether it's World Cross, whether it's like if you're ready and you're fit, like take the opportunity. I mean, if you medal say you're a medalist at World Indoors, but there's something close up down the line, I could see someone saying, well, I've already medaled at World Indoors. I've already had that experience. I might move to I might save myself for this other goal that I haven't achieved yet. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe this clip will get replayed and I'll look like an asshole. It's happened before. It'll happen again, surely. So.
Yeah. I mean, Cole Hock is freaking 20 years young. I don't know. I wonder if it was his decision or Ben Thompson's decision. I don't know, but Thompson, yeah. Just a little shout out to Ben Thompson. With Josh Kerr, it's kind of like classic Josh Kerr, where he's just like he's barely even raced indoors as a pro. I don't even know if he has raced indoors as a pro until this year. So it's like he always just kind of like bets on himself to perform on the big stage. And obviously, yeah, the biggest stage of our sport is World outdoors or the Olympics, whatever that is. And that's how they're going to operate, I suppose, based on that. It's the same with how Ballant race, because I mean, they didn't even take the step of bothering to race nationals. Like I think they had no one race US indoors because they have these other setup races to run
Josh
quick.
Thompson.
Oh yeah, he did, and he is racing actually in Worlds,
and
isn't
he made Worlds, yeah.
They lost some streak of like 9 years having an indoor champ though.
Oh, they had 9 years of that. Wow,
something like that.
Yeah, I it's interesting that you like the way that works because it seems like they're very successful doing that, right? Like Josh has obviously shown that success. Bauman have showed that success. I wonder if that will start to happen with certain groups. Will have that inclination to just not race anything like just focus on like the big head, like having your heady hitters focus on just big races instead of running like a sound running meet.
Yeah,
definitely. There's a financial aspect in it as well that often contracts are more like they're more generous if you run 26:40 than if you go to World Indoors and get top 5.
It's true.
It's like, I'll run this race for money.
Yeah. I don't know. Obviously, I don't know what their contracts actually say.
I mean, it's a good point because everyone's contract's different too.
The sport lends itself towards times not the sport. Like, I bet Josh Kerr is going to make way more money breaking 2 British records and running 3:48 than going to World Indoors. Not that that's the only reason he did it, obviously, but like that's part of the kind of the brand's.
Well, the risk isn't as high too because like the risk is okay. I'm going to go to World Indoors and I'm going to win a medal. That's a lot harder than going out and knowing that you're fit enough to run a British record. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's just an easy way to, if you're a gambling man, that's the easy way to place your bets. You know, I'll bet on myself than having to go to a world championship where there's a lot of guys that could beat me, whereas I just go and run 3:48 and chicka, yeah, cash in.
Yeah, why not? Just do your thing and yeah. I mean, who knows? I think it's the way the sport will go. Like, I think more pros will look at that and think it's like the way to operate is to like, just prepare for these massive meets being the Worlds and Olympics. But it is good to see it's not necessarily true for everyone because then you take a counter example. You look at like Jakob, for example. He actually races. Yeah, I mean, Jakob races a lot. And that's
and
like
Stewie races a lot too. I actually was thinking about that when you were saying that too. It's really interesting because Jakob and Stewie have been very successful at just putting out these amazing races back to back to back. And I mean, they like turned out to have really good championship races too. So maybe it depends on the athlete, but I don't know. It's interesting because we've seen both sides of the coin. I think if you look at it that way.
Yeah, no, it definitely can go both ways, and it definitely depends on the athlete. I mean, take yourself for example. You definitely raced a lot last year, and I don't know, maybe you felt like you should have raced a little less, which is true. But even racing a little less, you still would have put in a lot more races than a lot of other people. And I mean, you ran quick in freaking January or February, and you also ran quick in like August, September, whenever the Diamond League final was. So yeah, you're pretty good at that. So it definitely works for different people.
Thank you. Thanks, Morgan.
Yeah. So like moving on from that, we kind of touched on a bit, but we should probably do a little recap of the US indoors. Should give a big shout out to Alicia Monson. Qualifying for her second US team in, I believe, 2 attempts, coming second in the 3K, which was pretty damn sweet. I didn't get to watch the race because I was like literally boarding my plane. But it sounds like she went and executed that plan which Ritz laid out for her, which was certainly not an easy task to do. Go to the front and just hammer away on some chicks. How was it?
I honestly thought that it kind of fell into El Pura's lap quite a bit. Like to have Alicia take most of that mental energy in leading. Like you're not gonna outkick El Pura, who is a sub 4 1500 meter girl. So I think Alicia kind of set it up for El to just kick down and win, and then Alicia makes the team in second. But I mean, Alicia did exactly what she wanted to do, make the US team, and she achieved that, and she did it the best way possible. And she seems, that's the thing. Like, you make the US team, you go to Worlds. That's the objective. So she definitely did it.
She got the job done. I mean, she was going to the front, but she wasn't really like just laying it down. Like
Oh, really?
she's got some pretty interesting splits from like for probably 6 laps in there. She was alternating like 2 seconds every lap.
That's
like
wild.
35, 37, 35.
All right, back from a brief Gus break, our first Gus break in a few weeks, which I haven't seen Gus in a few days, but apparently there's been an injury with him. Apparently he's been getting worked a little too hard over there. Is that true?
Yeah, so we have an injury, another injury with Coffee Club. So Gus has caused a massive blister on his paw from balling out with Carlos. And he came in licking his paw and limping around, and we checked it. It's pretty bad, but we've been...
Wait, what did it look like? Did he just tear off from like the skin?
Yeah, the skin is like completely gone.
Wait, do dogs have skin?
It's red, and it's red. It's not bleeding, but it looks very painful. It looks like a blister. When you like kind of get rid of the skin off a blister, that's what it looks like. So me and George have been veterinarians and trying to make sure we keep the wound clean and keep him happy. He still wants to chase rocks and run around, but he can't because he's limping.
Wait, he just tries to power through it?
Yeah.
he just wants to like trek on through it. He'll like stand and like limp around like this. Like, I can do it.
What a trooper.
We taped it up too, and he's just a trooper. I don't either he's a trooper or he's really stupid. I think it's the latter, but
wait, I need to see a picture of him with a taped up paw. That sounds like an amazing image.
Yeah, but he kept licking it, so I had to pull it off this morning. But he's actually doing okay.
So everyone put Gus in your thoughts.
Yeah, so prayers up for Gus. Bless up. He's actually been a very good boy. We've had no accidents, no chewing anything, no destroying AirPods. He's been pretty good. So far, Gus is starting to mellow out, but we'll see. Usually he comes up with a surprise attack later on.
Just when you least expect
boy now.
Just when you least expect it, laptop gone or something like that, you know.
Yeah, no, we need to put a picture of that out to the world so they can send him their healing energy, and so he can know that everyone stands with him. But yeah, from that brief intermission, back to talking about the US indoors. So obviously that was the women's 3K where Ellie got it done, and Alicia came second after, and that came the day after a pretty dramatic women's 1500, which I did get to catch the end of that race. That was freaking sick, just having 3 girls separated by, I don't even know what it was. It was probably a few centimeters or something. It was, that was crazy to see. So we had Heather McLean come first, and then Josette Norris second. And then it was a big surprise. It was a massive kind of upset because Ellies came third, but she was obviously like the favorite. But I guess she tried to lead the whole race, right? And then at the end, these girls just came around, and you know,
it was a great change from some time trials. Just USA's in general was like a nice respite from just watching pace races all winter.
Yeah, it was fun to watch.
It was like some real racing out there. I mean, and I think that just shows how good the women's, like just in general, like American women's distance running is so amazing right now that you can have someone who's as good as Ellie, and she's not even like a lock to win. Like she can get beaten. So that was pretty crazy to see, especially the fact that she got beaten by one of her teammates. I think that was Heather's first US title, I want to say. And she's someone who's so easy to root for because she's like come on so strong as a pro, which is obviously extremely hard to do. I don't know a ton about her, but obviously she's just the type of girl who like works hard and seems like she's got like just a really great attitude. And you know, New Balance, are they called New Balance Boston? I don't even know what that Mark Coogan's team is called.
Yeah,
but
I think so.
They got a good thing going, man. They train up in surprise flag stuff during this time of year, just doing their thing. So yeah.
The fact that Heather was like kind of overlooked after she made the Olympics last year was probably like a cold take. And
honestly,
she proved it.
Huge cold take.
Yeah,
and like another girl who's kind of coming out as well is Josette. She killed it after competing, and I think was the wrong event for her, the 5K. I think she was the 5K at the Olympics trials.
Yeah, tried to.
Yeah, she did.
So she competed really well there. But she ran some shorter, she ran 1500s, and she was killing it. She killed it in Europe, and she went to the Diamond League final and killed it there. And she's come on really strong and has done really well and worked really hard. And she's, rightfully deserved to get a spot on the US team, which is no easy feat. So It was a pretty awesome race to watch. I particularly noticed that the 1500s for both men and women were actually a lot more entertaining than the 3Ks because there was more racing involved, I think.
The men's 3K was surprisingly didn't look very competitive at the end.
It seemed like they handed it to Cole. Personally,
I think it's one of those ones where like it looks like it's handed to him, but then I think if you take a step back, it's like, well, how is someone going to beat someone when they're kind of in the form that he's in? Like I don't think he's unbeatable as shown by a certain someone in this cast. Definitely wasn't me. I can say that much.
Wasn't me either.
But the thing is, I think it's a case of when you look at that start line, I think you would say that Cole can probably run as quick in a time trial setting over 3K or 1500 as like everyone in both those fields. And then that he can also close probably quicker than all of them. So it's kind of like how Ed Ches was when Ed Ches was in college and winning all those titles, and everyone was, being like, what the hell are these stupid sit and kick races? Like they're just letting Ches win. But then at the same time, Ches was probably just quicker than everyone else if it was a fast race as well. So I don't know if they could have played out any quicker. I guess you would maybe look at someone like Emmanuel Bohr and say, okay, you just ran 13 flat for the 5K, go out there and hammer and you can probably get it done. But again, he was probably just happy to qualify for the Worlds.
Yeah.
Like that's probably the priority, I guess.
Even he wasn't really challenged for a second.
No, it seemed like, I think Emmanuel Bohr, it seemed like when Cole took the lead, Emmanuel Bohr went straight behind him, stuck on him like white on rice, and just hanged on to get that second place. That's where and then they just kind of separated. But like also look at who wasn't there. I hate to be that person because I know it's going to be said at Worlds, but there's a lot of good American 3K runners that weren't there. Jared Nagus wasn't there. Grant Fisher wasn't there.
But the people in that field are good runners.
Yeah, really good runners.
No deny.
No, they were good runners, man.
I feel like maybe we're looking at runners that are very good runners, but like competitive wise as heavy hitters, whatever you call it. Morgan McDonald's heavy hitter list. Like Grant Fisher and Nagus would be much more competitive with Cole for a title. And they weren't there. So maybe it felt like that.
Agreed.
But also, you just don't know what's going through people's bodies and minds during a race like that. Maybe it was pretty hard, and that was, that's just the way the race unfolded. But it did look like the 1500 was much more interesting for me because I actually thought Josh Thompson was going to win.
Yeah, I didn't get to see the 1500, so you guys will have to give me a little play-by-play. But before we get to that, we should just give another shout out to our boy Dylan Maggot, who I believe came third in the 3K, and now he's on the US team, and we love Dylan Maggot around here. I don't know if I can say that enough. We love Dylan Maggot, so to see him achieve like that is pretty sweet.
Yeah, there's some like good people making the team in the end. Like people you're like, sweet, that guy made the team.
Like Sam Prakel as well made the 1500 team. Because Henry didn't have the time.
We're kind of bummed about Henry. What was your South Park meme about Henry not making the team? USATF.
Wait, what was that?
Like, why isn't he going?
Oh, yeah.
This is the reason Henry Wynn's not going, according to USATF.
It's USATF. It's like, you didn't run the standard in the right time. You ran 3:33, but it's not good enough.
Wait, he ran 3:33
in the summer last year.
Yeah.
How's that not count?
Dude, good bloody Christian.
Because it's only this season that matters?
I don't know. Yeah, because fuck you. That's why.
Wait, is that a USATF thing or a World Athletics thing?
Well, World Athletics.
It's World Athletics.
Yeah.
I think because it's indoor as well, it has to be an indoor time. I think under 3:35 is classified as an indoor standard as well, isn't it? I don't know.
No, it had to be under 3:33, and he ran 3:33 point. And then the indoor standard was 3:39 or under, and he ran 3:39 point.
Damn.
And I think the mile was 3:55, and I think he ran 3:55 point.
Damn.
That's interesting. Sad. It's interesting to talk about.
Sad for Henry, but
just speaking on Maggot, this might be taking a bit of a different route, but the talk about unsponsored athletes and like them, people saying there was actually good. I think it was Rory Linkletter, who's also unsponsored, had an interesting tweet about how he's annoyed that people kept saying like, "Oh, he's running fast, give him a deal," but there's just so much more layers to that onion of being able to secure a deal, which I thought was really interesting coming from an unsponsored athlete. So I feel like making a team must be one of those layers. Like for Dylan, surely making a US team will help him secure a deal and get some support from a brand.
Might have to check with Papa Links on that one, but yeah. No, I would say that's probably true.
Because it is interesting. It was actually pretty. I was just interested by that because it is, from an outside perspective, if you don't go through that process, people probably get shocked and surprised. I mean, also our boy Colby Jack Alexander got his debut with Adidas, which is exciting for him. Congratulations to him getting that deal. It's very well earned. But like it's just interesting. I think it's interesting because people don't necessarily understand like what it takes to get people to be able to secure a deal. So hopefully for Dylan, that's a nice goal for him, is to make a USA team, and he was able to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that certainly was his goal, and it is great that he achieved it. But yeah, going back to getting a sponsorship is a very difficult thing to do, because the way the market works is your hype tends to be the most when you're straight coming out of college. So if you're been out of college for a few years and you've already had a previous contract and you don't get re-signed, or you didn't get a deal out of college and you've just been running unsponsored, to make the jump to then being a sponsored runner just takes so much more than it initially took to get a deal out of college. Because when you sign a deal out of college, the reality is that you're mostly getting signed on potential. And another reality is that there's a big spotlight on the NCAA. So if you achieve in the NCAA, then you're going to, grow your profile as an athlete much more than you can just like running similar times as a pro. It's just the reality of it. So yeah, it is very hard to do, but you do hope that when someone is, as a pro, putting down those great performances, that then eventually they will get compensated and get supported and be able to continue to do it. And so yeah, Colby achieved that, which we've talked about him a few weeks ago about how much we were loving like the way he was racing and all that. So it is really cool to see that it can happen, but nonetheless it is very tricky to do. So for someone like Dylan, it's like, I guess, I don't know what you got to do.
No, it is hard. It's like something that I think people just underestimate how difficult it is to get a deal when you're in that kind of position. Did Colby Jack what was his sponsor before? Did he have a sponsor before?
Okay. Well, he was part of the New Jersey track club, I believe, who was sponsored as a group. So he was part of the group sponsorship thing that they had going on.
Apparently, he pulled his hamstring in that race too.
Really?
Yeah, we're in the street.
Who did we hear that from?
Oh, I don't know. One of your sources.
George got all
but apparently he pulled his hammy
off the line,
and that doesn't sound great. But
also that's hard to believe.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not saying
he looked great. He looked great in the race.
He's lying.
No, he looked great in the race. He just kind of faded back. And just to give you the recap, Morgs.
Yeah, please do.
Cole Hocker was pretty much in last,
and Colby Jack was in.
And first. Colby Jack was in first. So I thought, okay, Colby Jack's looking good to secure a spot if he's running the way he has been running. And then I saw Cole did the creeping up, but then I think it was like a lap to go. Cole was still pretty far back.
Really?
Doing a George Beamish here, learning from who he's been beaten from, but he kind of left it pretty late. And I think he only passed, Josh Thompson took the lead, was in the lead until probably about 20 minutes left in the race. Maybe even less,
I think.
10 minutes less, and then Cole comes through and gets him. It was textbook George. It was textbook fucking George.
That's textbook George.
I watched that, and I think, obviously, the guy can close, but he only closed in the 26, did he?
It's 26, I think.
No, 26 is really fast, but he's closed at 25 before.
It was like 26.9.
Yeah, he just seemed like I think he left it.
His timing was perfect.
Yeah, his timing was perfect, but I think I think
they were saying
it just seemed like it was a little bit. If it was any later, he would have maybe not got Thompson, but he got it.
He got it done. Like, that's so ballsy in an indoor 1500, because a indoor 1500 is over so quickly, and obviously on an indoor track, it's quite a bit harder to go around people than it is in an outdoor 1500. So. And especially if it's a USA's where it's probably going to be bunched, so you're going to have to go pretty wide. That is pretty impressive. Was it? I didn't even see. Was it a quick race? Like, what type of times did they run?
3:39.
Yeah,
was the winning time.
So not crazy quick. Probably pretty big.
But I think they were saying. I think Spokane's at like just over 2,000 feet.
It is a little bit. It is.
I think that's like enough to make running that fast just not feel very good. Like you're not going to PR or break any records. Even if like you don't obviously get a conversion or anything, if this was the NCAA, like they don't give you anything for it. But I don't think it lends itself to running fast.
That actually does make sense. It makes a lot of sense. But
cut them some slack on that.
Yeah, well, shit. Well, good job to Cole getting the double done, man. He's 20 years old. How's he only 20 years old? Like
3 from 3 as well.
Yeah.
He's 3 from 3 national titles.
He got
pretty
so
impressive
good
for 20
quickly, man.
Yeah. No, he's got a headset. Mindset.
What type of headset does he have? Does he rock
What
the
type of headset?
I'm sure he does have.
Is he wearing some skull candies? What's he wearing?
Astro A40s.
Astro A40s, A50s maybe? No, but he has got a mindset that is hard to teach. I think being able to have that.
What's his mindset?
Just being able to be comfortable being at the back, moving forward, and being able to cope under pressure when he's like just being able to close and pull the trigger when you need to win races. That's not easy to learn. I mean, I think people are naturally gifted in instinct in racing to be able to pull it off, but to be at 20 years old and outkicking Matt Sedgwick and outkicking a lot of amazing athletes and doing it consistently, I think is something that is pretty impressive. So
it is very impressive.
Obviously,
what he does.
Obviously, his legs have something to do with it, but I think his mindset's pretty fucking good. So
was that USA's? I feel like that was.
That was USA's.
That's USA's, man. That's it. Which was, I mean, it was exciting. Shout out to Sam Prequel in particular because he gave our show a shout out, and then he in his Instagram post before going, and then he made the team. So I don't want to draw too much of a correlation between those two things, but I think that we deserve at least a little bit of the credit for that.
I would say about 40%.
Yeah. Actually,
40%.
Okay, this is my other question, slightly unrelated. How much credit do we get for Josh Kerr's thing? Because I have to imagine that Ollie saying that he outclassed Josh Kerr is in some way related to Josh Kerr.
Why would you get credit? I get all the credit.
I didn't say me personally. I was obviously referring to you there.
I would say we get about 40% as well credit. So we collectively, the four of us, sorry guys, own the British record in the mile and 1500.
40%? Well, we wouldn't own
40% of it.
Well, so if we take 40%, how much do we give to David Ribich?
5%.
So, okay. And then do we give the other 55% or to Josh Kerr, or do we split that up even more?
Well, mate, what about Waleed? Shouldn't we give some to Waleed? Didn't he pay some?
5% to Waleed?
Yeah.
What about the coach?
Honestly,
Does the coach get any?
Danny Mackey.
Danny probably gets some.
He gets a bit as well. I mean, by the end, Josh is not going to have any percentage left.
Josh's spikes.
Josh's
new spikes probably get a little bit.
Honestly, though, I did love, props to Brooks Beast. Like, they had all their guys out there helping him out. I thought that was pretty cool.
Why were those guys not running USAs? Why didn't Ribeye run USAs?
I don't know why Ribeye didn't do that. Well, he didn't have the standard, right? He hasn't been. I don't think he's been racing.
I don't have priority.
Anyway, but it was cool to see them all there, like helping Josh out and pacing, getting in the race and getting involved. It was cool. It's very cool.
I mean, that record that he broke was like, I saw that one of them was like 40 or 50 years old, which is
no, not Herbert.
Well, wait, no, he got 3 records. He also got the European.
You get the European record too. Sugar. What's that guy's name?
Coghlan,
yeah.
Eamon Coghlan. He had.
That's it. Sorry. The Herb Elliott's like a really good Australian runner that said I was British. Yeah, you got that one.
Was it Peter Elliott?
Peter Elliott.
So, there we go.
Right?
I think that's right.
You're on the right track.
You have to confirm. Someone will correct me anyway. So
yeah. I think I had thought about this earlier. I reckon we might be like the world's best speculative running journalists. That's a hot take.
Where's the passing Let's Run?
It's for speculation.
Yeah, don't they have speculation on that?
They got a lot of speculation.
Jonathan loves his facts.
Oh, he does love his fix. I think
people that speculate.
I think the one thing that I think is dangerous about us is that we say stuff and people believe it. So let's just keep doing it. Because some shit that we've said has come true. You know?
It is true. We say a lot of dumb shit. Some of it comes true. Most of it doesn't come true. But it's kind of like what's the word for it? It's like a survivorship bias where people forget about all the stuff that we say that doesn't come true, but they remember the stuff that we say that does come true. So in the end, it makes us look way smarter than we are, which is.
I thought, yeah, it is a win-win. I thought we were like The Simpsons, like, you know, when they predicted stuff happening and it actually happened in episodes. That's us.
Yeah, that's like us. We're just like The Simpsons.
What did we predict for conferences? Did we do any predictions?
You know, we didn't talk about conferences much, but I definitely think we should give a little rundown of what we did see, which, to be honest, wasn't a lot because I can't say.
Do you know what we did talk about?
Yeah.
How pissed we were that a certain team, instead of going to conference, was going to Boston to get NCAA qualifiers.
Yeah.
Not going to name names.
That team flies in formation, though.
Oh, they do.
Yeah, see, that's it. I mean, it's not even a
well, our favorite Nico Young qualified on a flat track at altitude.
Nico Young
in his second race of the weekend after winning the DMR.
Yeah, Nico Young running 7:59 at altitude on a flat track is pretty fucking ridiculous.
Yeah. I don't even want to know how painful that is. That's gonna hurt so bad.
So hard.
Dude, if Nationals was back in Albuquerque, I would not want to race him.
No, he would fuck everyone up. Also, we should shout out as two fellow badgers, Owen Hacker.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Double dub.
Morgan and I have been fortunate enough to be able to have done that, and he's done it too. So congratulations, Owen. It's fucking sick.
I don't know if
Owen,
have
you're in
done
good
that.
company.
Huh?
I don't know if did I ever do the 3K?
Yeah, you did the 3K 5K when you had a broken foot.
Oh, wait, did I win the 5K? I don't think I did.
No, you won both.
Oh, go me.
Because I remember you kept avoiding Mick because Mick's like he's not running. And you kept avoiding
that's
him.
Not how that played out. Maybe that's how Mick told you it played out, but
that's how Mick told me it played out.
I did not know that I had a broken foot at the time. If I had known that I had a broken foot, I definitely would not have raced because I didn't race nationals once I found out that I had a broken foot. But
correct.
Nonetheless, that's in the past. Got the dub at Big Ten Conference, and Big Ten Conference, pretty slept on, I want to say, but obviously there are some hashtag heavy hitters coming out of there these days. Morgan Beetlejuice.
Yeah, Morgan Beetlejuice didn't have a ideal conference. I don't think he won.
He didn't have ideal insofar as he didn't win either of the races that he won.
He ran 3 races. He got fit for NCAAs.
Yeah. NCAAs to be interesting. Actually, NCAAs is going to be interesting to see how that goes because this is the craziest NCAAs we've ever seen. So hopefully the hype is legit and it's not boring.
We're going to hold back our preview for next week.
Well, yeah. But it's going to be interesting conference. Not much to get from conference other than that. Pac-12, hurry up and get a conference so you guys can stop cheating and getting qualifiers where everyone else is actually racing.
Cheaters.
No, it's true. Like every other everyone else has to do conference, but Pac-12 goes to Washington and runs really fast times and kicks everyone else out of the. It just seems unfair in my opinion.
It just doesn't make sense why you would not have an indoor conference meet when everyone is racing indoors and you are holding literally a conference invitational, whatever that means. Like just not up and race conference.
Whatever it means is bullshit. I don't
know who we're talking to here. I don't know who we're talking to. I'm
talking to. I think Colorado and Oregon, seeing some of those, a lot of those schools that have really
and also CU went to the Dempsey and raced, kind of raced. They didn't go to BU.
Yeah, I guess. Okay, so but that doesn't give you a card saying like, oh, I didn't go to BU, so it's okay. No, I feel like there should be a conference. These guys should be competing against each other and racing, instead of just kicking everyone else out because it's annoying.
Yeah, I don't know if it's like the schools. I might go to Phil Knight. Is Phil Knight still alive? Is he still alive?
His birthday the other day. Happy birthday, Phil!
Okay, I'm going to Phil Knight and telling him to start a conference meet because it is ridiculous, and he has to do something about that. So
we can call it the Coffee Club Conference.
Yo, I like that. We can
host it.
We'll host it, and then what will happen is. If they do time trials, they actually get removed from the Teepers list.
Hey, what about this?
No paces, no time trial races. You're running to win something prestigious, which is a handshake from Gus.
Has anyone thought about this? What if you gave bonuses for how slow you can run, but it's still you have to win though. So it's like first place is $1,000. if I guess I don't even know why I'm talking about money because we're talking about college meets here where there's not prize money anyway.
Okay.
But I'm just spitballing here. What if it was like $1,000 if you win and it's sub 4? But then what if it was like $10,000 if you win and it was like slower than 5 minutes? Wouldn't that be amazing?
I tell you one thing: if that was put in Matt Senchowicz's contract when he won the Olympic gold medal, he'd be laughing. Dude, we got 350, and he would have won an Olympic gold medal. He would have made so much money off your that kind of bonus. That'd have been hilarious.
Just an idea, just throwing it out there. I mean, I guess everyone would probably just walk. Like you just literally walk and then just start running. So it probably wouldn't work in reality.
100 to go, everyone just starts sprinting.
That'd be.
I mean, relays, 4 by mile.
Yeah.
Let's
speak to the head honchos at On and see if we can get that put into our contracts.
Heavy hitters, the On heavy hitters.
The hashtag heavy hitters at Penn. Let's see what we can do with that.
Morgan's heavy hitters. So we got textbook George, Morgan's heavy hitters, and what was mine? Good for the sport.
Yeah, hashtag good for the sport.
Haven't had that much lately.
No,
we didn't bring that back.
We didn't bring that. Yeah,
we had a lot of opportunities today to talk about it, so we could just run through the topics we've talked about today. Okay, Josh Kerr not racing British champs, but running 3:48 instead.
That's a tough one.
You don't get to deliberate. You just have to go with your gut.
Hashtag not good for the sport. Because I feel like he's gonna. The reason. Okay, let me explain why. The reason why is I think he's gonna break it anyway. He's gonna break it anyway.
That's a good point.
Like he could just run the British champs, win the British champs, and then just run it later. He could do
it. Do it at the British champs. Stop being a coward.
Yeah, I know. I was gonna say, he could literally just do it at the British champs. Just get one of his. I guess it'd be hard to get someone to pace it for him, but
yeah, that was a good one.
That's conflicting because I think it's on the middle, almost neutral, but yeah,
pretty mid. All right, the next one I think would be Cole Hocker doing the double, but then choosing to not race at Worlds.
Oh God, I think again hashtag not good for the sport because you want someone like if you're a fan of Cole Hocker, you want him to go to Worlds and win, right? Winning the American, doing the dub at the American champs is freaking awesome. But if you're a Cole Hocker fan, you want him to win Worlds. You want him to win, like be the best in the world, and he's not doing that. So
yeah, agreed.
I unfortunately say not good for the sport.
Yeah. Have we got any others from today, George?
Dude, flying in formation to Boston on conference weekend.
Hashtag not good for the sport. I'll die in that fucking hell. I fucking hate that shit. I hated it when I was in college. Get a Pac-12 meet, race, and don't kick off kids that like don't have the opportunity to actually like do time trials and get paced.
We do love Reed Brown. It's not personal.
I love most of this. I mean,
it's not personal.
It's the same with the Colorado people. Like a lot of those people are freaking amazing people. They're gems, but in realistic sense of my mind, it's not fair.
Yeah, we love Reed and he hopes he runs well at NCAAs.
We love you guys. We love people in Pac-12. We just think that you guys should have your own conference.
Clutch for Reed Brown to come through and get it done on the last opportunity.
Just a speed suit, baby.
Was he wearing a speed suit?
He was.
Was he?
Yeah. It's a speed suit, baby.
I bet they make some nice speed suits.
Oregon? Yeah, they're really nice. They're Nike one. freaking Cooper Teardrop was wearing his little speed suit for his 350 mile.
He was.
Was he really?
I don't want to say anything, but I kind of wore the speed suit before everyone else. I don't want to.
Okay, so you say that
domestically in Australia,
all the Ingebrigtsens wore it forever.
Well, they called me up. They called me up and said, "Hey, Ollie, do you reckon this would be a good idea?" And I said, "Yeah, do it. I'm going to be doing it when I go pro, boys. You go for it." No. I noticed that it has been a transition though that more people are wearing speed suits and I'm all for it.
That wasn't an option on my gear list for New Zealand. It was. Wait, do you have an Aussie speed suit lined up?
Yeah, baby, I have an Aussie speed suit uplined. Although I did see,
I don't think 2XU.
Shout out to my mate Rowan Browning. He did model it, and it looks like it'll be too daggy on my arms, but we'll see.
Is it a t-shirt one?
Yeah.
Oh, those are so sick.
Sick. Really cool. The thing is, Rowan was wearing it, and Rowan's like pretty like built, and I think it was a bit.
Your little chicken arms,
and I got little chicken wings. He's got nice buff arms, so I could.
You gotta start taking some creatine or something, man.
Maybe I'll send a message down under. And just
2XU surely would make one. Ask him.
Not feeling super confident about that one, but
yeah,
if it had a t-shirt, I would be like way more inclined to wear it.
Yeah.
I wonder how those t-shirt on jerseys are going.
Hey, they're in the pipes.
In the pipeline.
They're in the pipes currently.
They're in the pipes. They're in the They're in the plumbing.
Okay, this is a good for the sport, which is pretty random, but we were going to talk about this as one of our Q&As for this week. So I'm going to give it to you now to spur this discussion. The Kanye versus Pete beef. Which is like it's kind of already irrelevant. It happened like 2 weeks ago.
What's it got to do with sport? One guy won't take his meds, and the other guy will take his meds. That's what it seems like.
That's a biased take.
We're split right now by a state of Team Pete and Team Kanye.
Yeah, I'm Team Pete.
We're Team Pete back in Boulder.
I'm Team Kanye insofar as I just think he's like the greatest genius.
Yeah, you love Kanye. You would sleep with Kanye, and like, look, I love Kanye's music, but I think the way he's treating Kim and the way he's treating Pete is just not ideal.
Well, obviously, I don't.
Harassing someone isn't cool. Doing it on social media isn't cool, particularly someone who's had suicidal tendencies. It's not a cool thing to do, particularly someone that has dealt with mental health issues like Kanye has. I feel like I don't know why he would do that to someone who he probably knows has mental health issues in the past. But
yeah, he probably doesn't think about it like that.
I love Kanye's music. I love his music. I just wish I could separate his music from the shit that he's like. I mean, is it entertaining to see happen? Yeah, but it's not great. I would say it's hashtag not good for the sport. I know it'd be good for the sport if they actually combined and did a comedy song or some shit. I don't know.
You know they might, because he had a big beef with Drake, and then they ended up performing like a few weeks later together. I think the thing with Kanye is that I think it's all. I mean, maybe he is like really like struggling with this stuff, but also I think so much of it is just like his album release cycle, where he's at the front page of all the news when he's releasing music, and I don't think he
just wants to cause teledrama.
I don't think that's a coincidence. I mean, that's what it takes now. I mean, like if you look at all the stars, it's just like the game that they play to an extent. But when it gets too real, then it's like, bro, you gotta chill out a bit. So I see where you're coming from.
That's my personal opinion though, because I love Kanye's music and I love Pete's comedy. It's just like their personal lives are just like all over the place. It's messy.
Very messy. Very messy. All right. Well, that probably concludes our good for the sport, but leads us in nicely to some more Q&A. One that we believe we've done it before, but why not revisit it? Because it is a pretty classic question that you get from a lot of fans, and that is, what is your pre-race ritual? And based on our previous answers, I think George and I tend to be pretty similar on this stuff, and then Ollie has a very unique one. So do you want to take it first, Ollie?
Yeah, people would know that self-hatred is one of the better ones of my rituals. Has worked for me. It hasn't worked for me recently because it's hard to self-hate right now. I'm actually feeling good about myself.
Just in such a good spot.
I'm just feeling good about myself. But yeah, like self-hatred, like, I mean, I'm sure like for me personally, I like to have a lot of music playing. I also personally don't like to, you know how people sometimes put on like their racing kit, under their gear before, and then they go out. I don't like doing that.
Yeah, neither actually.
So I like put on my racing kit before I get in, because like I kind of want to warm up before and then put it on. I know that like a lot of
I like putting it on at the last possible moment.
I feel like that's a ritual for me as well.
That is such a good point, and that actually brings up a question which I still struggle with, like to this day, is I never know, like if I'm wearing long tights or tracky pants, I never know if I should put my race shorts on at the hotel or if I should wait to put them on at the track. And I inevitably always put them on at the hotel, just because I don't want to like, have to go through the struggle of like putting your shorts on and like flipping your dick out like at the track. But I do try to leave my singlet off, though. I will say that.
Yeah,
I think I'm agreeing with Morgan. I've had that thought before about putting like race shorts under tights. It's like not super comfortable, but it's worth it to avoid the hassle later. Although, speaking of not wearing your race singlet before like the race and put it on later, have you guys ever hear the story at Wisconsin? You know how you would get you would get jerseys like the night before in sublays, and would like for a couple of years they were like kind of trying to keep them hidden for whatever reason, like, and would wear them right before.
Yeah.
So like at 2018 NCAAs at Nuttycombe were like in the tent, like getting ready. It's like right before the race, and so we're like trying to keep these jerseys hidden, like we're not wearing them, like putting them on before the race, and then like someone rocks up to our tent and is like holding up a jersey and was like, is anyone like missing any Neu jersey? It's like got a number pinned to it and everything. It's like I just found this in the Portaloo back there, and
No way.
Luis had taken his jersey to the toilet and left it there, and then just gone back to the tent, like right before the race, and it was just sitting there.
That is stressful. I don't know
It
how
was
That's
hilarious.
very stressful.
how you
So
do
he just
that.
like didn't have it, and someone just like brought it to the tent.
Luis is like
So-
he's like pretty chill though, right? He's the type of guy that like would do something like that, no,
Yeah, probably.
and just be
It's
fine.
like don't wear your jersey. We won't, but also like don't lose it. before
Definitely.
the
Don't
race.
don't lose that jersey, because otherwise you end up like Justine.
I was gonna say, unless you're Justine and you have a master plan where you know that you'll get put into the next round, and then you'll have just raced one less race than everyone else, and you'll be fresh and ready to go, and then you'll come second at into the Blaze. Master
Hot
plan.
take. Actually,
Master
not
plan.
even a hot take.
Not a hot take. That's
Facts.
like very factual.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it wasn't his intention to forget his singlet, but definitely helped him out not having to race.
I think coffee's pretty standard pre-race ritual.
Yeah, people
Do you
like
have a certain time for a coffee before a race?
on the line.
Just an espresso shot on the line. That would be baller.
That would be baller. You also get acid reflux though, wouldn't you? If it's like a straight espresso shot.
I haven't tried it.
That's true.
Got to test that out in training.
As late as possible without it being uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Whatever that means.
Interesting.
I've had one like at the track before, like right before warming up.
Yeah, I think I've done it. I normally sometimes I'll bring it on the bus, and then I'll sip it on the bus. I guess it always depends on how early before the meet you're going there. But yeah, I like to do like 2 hours before I warm up, or 2 hours. Yeah, maybe like an hour before I warm. It depends, I guess. But yeah, that's the only thing that's like constant in my ritual is having a coffee before a race. But apart from that, nothing really sticks out as a pre-race ritual. I do like to shake out. I like to shake out, obviously. I think like we all do that as well. So that's pretty standard. That's not very unique. But apart from that, not much else going on. Maybe one thing I would say actually is on race day, I don't like to go on social media. I don't know if that's common, like if that's the same for you guys, but I like to kind of like get
That's a good habit.
Focused like in my own zone. So I won't even like respond to messages sometimes. Like because like if someone wishes me good luck, or maybe I'll just like it, but I'll like get pretty in my own space.
Yeah. No, I think that's good too, because then you can just message those people after the race.
Yeah.
Say thanks.
Yeah.
So
that's how I am on race day. That's how I operate. Yeah. But
sweet.
But with that one, I guess that's it for today's episode. Thank you for listening, everyone. I hope it was solid doing this via the interwebs. Unfortunately, not all in the same room. But yeah, that's episode 24. We'll see you guys next week.
Just before we go, sorry, I don't want to. We should shout out someone that probably listens to this pod, Derek Rubis. He's got colon cancer, so I think it'd be nice for us to say we wish you all the best, Derek, and best of luck with everything. Our thoughts are with you, and we know you're a fan of the coffee club and also the running community. You've been a very supportive person, so our thoughts are with you, and hope you're doing okay, mate.
Yeah, we hope the best for him. He's been a fan of all of ours for a long time, so
he has,
wish him the best.